Greetings. Today we will explore weight loss peptides, semaglutide, tirzepatide, and retatrutide. Welcome to the part of the weight loss conversation that the commercials skip over. You've seen the ads, you've watched the celebrities shrink, you've heard the word Ozempic thrown around at dinner parties like it's a new restaurant, and now you're sitting there wondering if semaglutide and the other GLP peptides are the real deal, or just another chapter in the long, embarrassing history of miracle weight loss promises that end in disappointment and a subscription box full of chalky bars. Here's my honest take. Semaglutide, tirzepatide, second-generation GLP-1 plus GIP, and retatrutide, GLP-1, GIP plus glucagon agonists, the latest and greatest so far, are genuinely effective. They are also genuinely misused, overprescribed by people who have no business prescribing it, and routinely handed to patients with zero follow-up, zero nutritional guidance, and zero understanding of what happens when you stop taking it. The standard of care has a breathtaking talent for taking something that works and turning it into a racket. So let's talk about what these peptides actually are, what to realistically expect from them in Sarasota, and more importantly, how to use them as a tool rather than a crutch. I'm the digital avatar of Dr. MacCloud, aka the Nutrition Ninja Doc. His passion and purpose are to solve health problems to help people achieve their health, performance, and appearance goals. He uses AI to save time, allowing him to focus on helping others. With over 45 years of clinical experience, he has developed extensive, specialized health knowledge he wants to share, which is why he produces videos. Please note that this is not medical advice. It is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Consult your trusted progressive healthcare provider before making any significant changes in your health regimen. Now let's get back to today's topic, but before that I ask you to please hit the like button if you find this information helpful. Subscribing to this channel helps get this information to more people. Semaglutide is a GLP-1 receptor agonist. That's a fancy way of saying it mimics a hormone your gut naturally produces called glucagon-like peptide 1. When you eat, GLP-1 normally signals your pancreas to release insulin, tells your brain you're full, and slows gastric emptying so your food sticks around longer. Semaglutide essentially cranks that signal up to 11. The result? You feel full faster, eat less, and provided you're not compensating by eating garbage during your compressed eating window, you lose weight. Clinical trials published in the New England Journal of Medicine showed an average of 15 to 20% body weight loss over 6 to 12 months. That's nothing. That's genuinely significant. The brand name versions, Ozempic and Wegovy, will cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of $100-300 a month without insurance. Compounded semaglutide, which is what we work with at ARTC, runs considerably less. The molecule is the same. The difference is we don't have a multi-billion-dollar marketing budget to recoup. Next, there's Tirzepatide that goes by the brand names Mounjaro and Zepbound. This is a second-generation weight loss peptide that contains both a GLP-1 receptor agonist and a GIP receptor agonist. Since this is newer, I'll provide more details. The GIP receptor, GIPR, is the biological equivalent of a world-class concierge. It doesn't just do one thing. It manages the entire metabolic floor to make sure the guests, your cells, are fed, protected, and not making a mess of the place. Here's the condensed reality of how this receptor keeps you from falling apart. The brain insulin-gut axis functions. The insulin whisperer, GIPR, is the primary driver of the incretin effect. When you eat, it signals the pancreas to dump insulin, keeping your blood glucose from hitting the ceiling while the experts are still debating what you had for lunch. Adipose and brain command. It's a dual threat for weight loss. By signaling the brainstem, it ramps up energy expenditure and regulates fat metabolism. It's essentially telling your brain to stop hoarding calories like a doomsday prepper. The skeletal shield. Unlike most metabolic tools, GPR actually looks after your frame. It improves bone mineral density and stops the destruction and resorption of bone tissue. Pancreatic life support. It keeps your pancreatic beta cells from committing cellular suicide, apoptosis. It's not just managing the current supply, it's ensuring the factory stays open for business. The anti-barf mechanism. Perhaps its most famous trick is the antiemetic effect. It reduces the nausea typically caused by GLP-1 medications, allowing you to lose weight without feeling like you're stuck on a bad carnival ride. Glucagon management. It modulates glucagon secretion in a glucose-dependent manner, providing a level of metabolic flexibility that most pharmaceutical band-aids can't touch. Next, there's retatrutide, the latest and greatest peptide for metabolic reset and regulation. It contains GLP-1 and GIP receptor agonists plus a glucagon receptor agonist. It is still in phase 3 clinical trials, although it is already available from multiple sources. The research indicates that it provides the best overall benefits, including the most weight loss and the least amount of muscle loss of the three. The conventional medical crowd has spent decades treating glucagon as the villain because its traditional job is to raise blood sugar when you're fasting. But when you stack a glucagon receptor agonist on top of the other two, you aren't just managing a disease, you're turning your body into a metabolic blowtorch. Here's why the glucagon component is the real Wolverine of this triple threat. 1. The thermogenic jumpstart, energy expenditure. While the other receptors focus on slowing down your stomach and begging your pancreas for insulin, the glucagon receptor goes straight to the thermostat. It increases your resting energy expenditure. The reality. It forces your body to burn more calories while you're sitting on the couch watching the experts be wrong on TV. It's like turning up the idle on a car engine, so it burns through its fuel tank faster. 2. Lipolysis, the fat eviction notice. Glucagon is a powerful driver of lipolysis, the process of breaking down stored fat into usable energy. The synergy. While GIP helps regulate energy balance and fat metabolism in the brainstem, the glucagon agonist acts as the boots on the ground commander, telling your adipose tissue to pack its bags and leave. 3. Liver renovation. This is where it gets interesting for the root cause crowd. Glucagon agonism specifically targets the liver, increasing fat oxidation, burning within the liver cells. The result? It's being studied for its ability to clear out non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, at a rate that makes standard liver support supplements look like they're trying to put out a forest fire with a water pistol. Here's where I'm going to be blunt in a way your telehealth prescription service will not be. Semaglutide, Tirzepatide, and Retatrutide are not a permanent biological fix. They are a metabolic tool. If you use them correctly, meaning you use the reduced appetite window to rebuild your eating habits, support your muscle mass with adequate protein and resistance training, and address the hormonal and metabolic dysfunctions that made weight loss difficult in the first place, you can come off it and maintain your results. If you use it incorrectly, meaning you treat it like a magic injection that lets you eat whatever you want in smaller quantities, you will lose weight, lose muscle alongside the fat, and regain everything when you stop, possibly with interest. Your metabolism will have adapted downward, your muscle mass will be lower, and you will be worse off than when you started. This is not a theoretical risk. This is what happens to the majority of people who go the telehealth route with no supervision, no nutritional strategy, and no plan for the exit. Weight loss is arguably the most challenging thing in all of medicine, with a 95% failure rate over 5 years. Our bodies are designed to store fat for security reasons. A few months on a weight loss peptide is not going to overcome millions of years of evolutionary necessity without commensurate lifestyle modifications. Nausea is the most common complaint, particularly in the early titration phase. Constipation, bloating, burping, acid reflux, and fatigue are also frequent visitors. For most people, these improve as the body adjusts. For some, they don't. The more serious concerns, such as pancreatitis, gallbladder issues, and a rare association with thyroid tumors in animal models, are worth an honest conversation before anyone puts a needle in your arm. If you have a history of pancreatitis or thyroid cancer, semaglutide is off the table entirely. There's also the muscle loss issue. A calorie deficit will prompt weight loss, and your body won't know the difference between fat and muscle unless you provide the right signals. Rapid weight loss of any kind tends to cannibalize lean tissue. This is why adequate protein intake and exercise, especially resistance training, are essential to optimum results. We recommend building your entire nutritional strategy around hitting your protein targets first. A calorie deficit along with a protein deficit is the ideal recipe for losing half of the pounds lost as muscle versus fat. We don't hand out prescriptions and wish you luck. That's the telehealth model, and it's how these peptides got their current reputation for producing temporary results in people who weren't set up to keep them. At the Age Reversal Technology Center, we'll help choose the right peptides as appropriate to help you achieve your health, performance, appearance, and weight goals. We also like to assess your hormone levels, thyroid function, insulin sensitivity, and body composition before recommending anything. We combine it with a sound nutritional strategy, resistance training guidance, and, where indicated, complementary therapies from our peptide and regenerative toolkit. We also offer several types of exercise, including resistance training using the latest and greatest equipment called ARX, Adaptive Resistance Exercise, which allows you to build muscle and strength in as little as 20 minutes a week. The goal isn't a number on the scale. The goal is a body that functions the way it's supposed to: lean, energized, hormonally balanced, and capable of maintaining those results without a weekly injection indefinitely. If that sounds like more work than clicking refill on an app, it is. It's also the difference between borrowing results and actually earning them. Ready to find out if one of these weight loss peptides is right for your situation or whether something else entirely would serve you better? Call us at 941-806-5511 or stop by 6968 Professional Parkway East in Lakewood Ranch. Let's look at your actual metabolic picture and build a strategy that makes sense for your biology, not someone else's. Because weight loss that doesn't last wasn't weight loss. It was a rental.